When gluing boards, there are several things to keep in mind. First, you want to butt the edges of the boards to be glued together to make sure that they fit snugly together and there are no wide gaps. If there are gaps, then you need to either rejoint or trim the edge again on the table saw. The gaps will create a weak glue joint that may cause problems later on. Second, you need to apply a thin layer of glue on one edge of a board. If there is not enough glue, then a weak spot will be left in the glue joint. A properly glued joint will be stronger than the wood fibers. Third, make sure that the clamps are snug but not too tight. By over-tightening clamps, you can cause two problems. The first is that all the glue will be squeezed out of the joint, and second, the boards will start to buckle and the surface will not be flat. While the top and end pieces are drying, this is a good time to work on the next step. The sides need to be cut to their rough dimension. You will need a board about 5 inches wide, and you will cut two pieces to 15½ inches long. It will later be milled to the final dimensions. Joint one edge on each of the side pieces using the same process as discussed earlier. Make sure to get a good edge on the boards. The sides are now ready to be ripped to the final width. Set the fence to 4½ inches and make the cut for each piece. After the sides have been ripped to the correct width, the next step is to cut them to the proper length. This can be done using any circular saw, such as the miter saw, the radial arm saw, or the table saw. In this case, I am using the table saw because the blade is better for doing cross cuts than the ones currently on the other saws. When making this type of cut, the first thing to do is to square one end by cutting about 1/8 of an inch off, and then using that good edge to butt up to the fence. You will see that I switched the location of the miter gauge to the other side so it is holding the piece between the blade and the fence. If you forget to do this, you run a great risk of having the piece between the fence and the blade getting caught and kicking back at you. After the glue has set up for at least 45 minutes, you can take the clamps off. Then you will need to get a glue scraper and clean up all the excess glue off of the boards. This step helps to keep the blades on the planer clean and sharp.